Hi, everybody. This is Phillip Guan, CPA, and welcome to the training for how to do tax return. How to do a tax return is very fun and interesting. I've been doing the CPA practice for over 20 years. So I'm doing a lot of training. So this is one time that I would like to training by myself to teach you from A to E how to do the tax return. So we are going to use tax software. It's called DRAKE, D-R-A-K-E. The DRAKE tax software provide us about 10 practice exam. So what are we going to do is we're going to show you this practice exam, and then I'm going to use the actual tax software to do the whole tax return. Now, all the information in this practice exam are not real person. The name, the social, the address, everything are make up for teaching lecture purpose. So there is no confidential information in this training. First, I'm going to share the screen. And then the practice exam I am going to teach you is the first practice exam. So the practice exam, we are going to have the total of 13 of them. I'm going to teach all of them one by one, not the whole day, not the whole thing by today. So since today is the first, I'm going to take it slowly. The scenario, I'm going to show it to you. Is it large enough? Let me enlarge a little bit for you. That's good, huh? Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
So, well, there's Spanish too. Okay. I hope sometimes I can translate in Chinese. Okay, now. So in this scenario, you practice to enter all the following. W2, I highlighted as we were talking. So healthcare coverage, earned income credit, child tax credit, and due diligence. So we have three things in the third category. And then the child care expenses. So here is the instruction. This practice will help you become familiar with the return preparation in DRAKE tax software using the scenario information and attach it. So we are going to, the DRAKE tax software by themselves, they have a video, but they're in a very short version, like about 10, 15 minutes. So for me, I mean, like kind of like about 45 minutes to an hour. So it's a good to after watch mine, and then you can go to watch DRAKE tax softwares. You can actually Google the DRAKE tax software practice return. They are online. Now, after the return is complete, you actually can see your finished result is the same as what is supposed to. Now, and we are only practice the further. The state tax return in this version of tax software at this moment for 2023 is not released yet. So, Victoria, could you read this? The thing that I highlighted.
Ponderosa Pine is unmarried and lives in Atlanta, PA, with her 6-year-old son, Bruce. Ponderosa works. Hang on one second. There's something on my screen. Okay. Ponderosa works full-time as a botanist at University of Trees.
Okay, continue. Continue.
Oh, Ponderosa and her son are both U.S. citizens and cannot be qualified child or dependent on anyone else's federal tax return. She provides proof of maintenance of the household, including utility bills and rent receipts. This is evidence that Ponderosa paid more than 50% of the cost of keeping up the home in which she and her son lived. She lived in U.S. for the entire year. Ponderosa provide proof of maintenance of the household, including utility bills and rent receipts. There is evidence that Ponderosa paid more than 50% of the cost of keeping up the home in which she and her son lived. She lived in U.S. for the entire year. Ponderosa provide you with a copy of her driver's license. The number is 1234567 issued in Georgia on January 1st, 2015. Her license expires on January 1st, 2025.
Okay, so now we don't need to read this. Very good, thank you very much. So now this is the information. Obvious, when your client gave you the information, may not be exactly like that, but we will contain all this information. So the first thing first, is the client's name, first name first, and then last name. Now here's the social. They call TIN. Okay. So, but in here, in most of the people will be social. Same birthday of my daughter, November 8th. Interesting, huh? Okay. So, and then the less information. So now, and I want to start to open a new file. So I copy this social. So this is 2023 tax return. I open. Okay. Paste it. Do you see? Is there? The reason is there is year after year they do a training. They change some numbers. So now, because it is in my 2022 tax software, I'm gonna get smarter. So I'm gonna check all of them. If some of the information not checked, so I'm gonna check all. Like here, do you see the so and then I'm gonna hit update. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll everything from my 2022 tax software to my 2023 tax software regarding about this client. There will be less input. Pretty cool, huh? Now, the tax software is there. So now, there is, I could do this. I could do it side by side. Let me see if I can get it side by side. Now, when you have up here, the information, there's a plus sign on your right side, a little bit up on the right of the plus sign. You click, you hold it to the left. You see the half, you let go. Now, you can click on what it is. So now you can actually get it side by side. Pretty cool, isn't it? Now,
yeah, it is very cool.
So now in here, as you can see, as I normally input the social, which is the same, you have to double check the social. So in this situation, because it's lowered over from the last year, the system use the green color to say, hey, double check it. So I check it's right, so I can enter. Oh, sorry. Well, I make a mistake. So I can actually do, when you're in a work, you make a mistake. Now you go somewhere. You go somewhere first. Don't worry. And then you go back to here. You do, I think you can do the undo. Let me see if I'm not mistaken. Undo? No, it doesn't. But luckily I can remember. This one. Okay. 400006001. You remember that? Like that. On the left side, in the highlighted. Okay. Okay. Now, the first name and last name have been inputted already. In this specific example, there's no middle initial. If there is, we put it. And if there's something others like junior or something, if they're named like that, you should put it. Okay. So, but in this situation, it does not. Straightforward. Birthday. And then email, occupation, home address. I changed it to San Francisco. I changed it to San Francisco to because I'm in San Francisco, I'm in California, and so that I make it more easier to understand it. But if you want to be 100% match, let me change it back to what it is. Now, here's the cool thing about this software. In a PDF, you can actually copy. I highlight it, copy, come here, paste, enter. So you don't have to put all the CD. All you need to do is put a zip into it. They change everything for you. Pretty good. Now, not only that, they also changed here, Western state. Now, some of them, they have a school district. In this special situation, there's none. So now, going back to here, when you file tax return, you either single by yourself, marry, file together, husband and wife only, no kid, or there is a husband or there's a person, but there's no spouse, but there's a kid. It's called head of household. Do you remember in this situation? And we go back to what we just talking about that. Now in here, you actually can, you see, you don't see the whole thing, but you can get the plus and minus sign, and you get it to, so that way you can actually see the whole thing. You don't have to move all around. Pretty cool, isn't it? Right there. So in this scenario, it is what kind of the tax filing this person have. Single, married by Johnny, married by separate, head of household.
Head of household.
Head of household. Number 4 in this situation. Now, for head of household, there's some question here. We need to do it. Now, here's the cool thing in this tax software. Anything blue in here, well, there's only 3 colors. They are normally black when you normal input, and the red is where normally my company information or something, you probably make a mistake. There's error message. The blue is what you can click into it and input something. So as you can see, because the head of household, obvious, there's only the left side. There's no spouse in here. And then we choose number 4 in here. Is it big enough for you guys can see it? Are you okay?
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Are you okay to see the screen? Okay. I'm seeing the 60-inch screen, TV screen, so I'm good. So now, don't look at it in a small one. Don't look at it in a big one, in a big TV or like the screen. That's easier. Now we coming from the top to the bottom. So the first HC is health coverage. So in this situation, they both have health insurance. In federal, they used to have a penalty for somebody who do not have a health insurance, but right now they already get rid of it. But you still put it yes in here. So you're done. We're done with this. So if you want to get back to where you was, escape. Okay. when you escape, you go back to where you was. Okay. And then the ID, you remember there's an ID in here. The ID, they say it in here. Let me highlight it so that way easier for you. I think I can move this one a little bit. You can move it like this, so it make life easier. So how can you make it move? Is when you have two arrows from both direction, left and right. That's where you can hold it and you move. So as you can see, obviously 8 is a makeup number, but in here they're no longer, so each and every year they change a little bit. So 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I right? Yes.
Yes.
Well, the
What?
state.
I think you're missing a 7.
Yeah, I purposely.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You're good.
So you're missing 7.
I purposely make a mistake to let you catch it. So
Purposely?
yes. 1. Is it this one like?
GA.
GA. As an accountant, you have to be looking for the very detail, because the tax return for the client, every single number and letter must be correct. Issue date
2015.
0101. No.
Issue day, not expiration day. 15.
January 1st. It changed a little bit. Oh. Right now it's right. Right now it's right. So there's no spouse. The kid does not need to. Okay. So the green color one, you can hit you can hit the shift and control and enter. So now you hold.
What is type 1?
Huh? Oh, type 1
What
is like it's either driver license or other state ID, like with your phone.
Oh, okay.
So like passport, like anything other than driver license,
Okay.
with the photo and the name on it. Okay. Most of people will give you an ID, but some people don't have it, and then they can give you others. It's not optional; it's required. Now, if there's a direct deposit or direct withdrawal, they need to do this. So we don't need to do this because we don't know it's going to be refund or withdraw yet. Okay. Now, foreign account. In this scenario, do they say any foreign account? Not can I remember. Oh, there is no foreign account in this scenario because they start with something simple, which means we are filing U.S. tax return. So when this client owning any bank account outside U.S., they call foreign account. If they have any foreign account, in any day have 10,000 or more balance, even one day, you need to report it. You do not need to pay tax into it. However, if you don't report it, there will be a penalty. So in this scenario, is no. So there's a short answer in, now you can hold this one a little. Oh, here, this one. You can hold this one. You can say no in here. I think there is a short answer in outside out there. Let me answer this one first. And there's a short answer outside if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, like here. Like here. I can check the no in here instead of go into if they all know. If they all know, all I need to do is check this little box. So I don't need to get into do what I just did. Now, the second one is if you have at any given time, did the taxpayer receive sell exchanges other digital asset? In this scenario, there is not. we will have a class talk about that. So today we're not going to go in detail to confuse you in the first classes. Okay. So it's no. So the rest of the information in left side will be my firm information and whoever input it. And then in here, it's important. You need to put in what is the total tax this person they owe in federal tax. Then they will help to figure out the penalty and interest. So this one is important, especially a new client. If the old client, they will be carried over from the last year tax software. In this situation, it says they owe no tax for federal. They may be right, or they may be along software. Maybe in this specific computer, I did not do the last year tax return, maybe just an empty one, so that they ends up 0. Okay, so since I have question about it, I right click, I flag for review. Anything green, how to do it? Right click, the right click, flag to review. So that way you can go back to see. Okay. And this is how much we charge the client. We can put in here override, and there's a detailed one. And this one is how much the client pay estimate tax if they do pay it in here. So in this client, they don't have estimate tax pay. So we are going to have some classes talk about that. Okay. So we pretty much finished the first input screen. Now, let me tell you, after you finish the first class, the screen, let me tell you what it's going to look like. Okay. I hit view. It's fine because all state is not inputted. It's not error. It's just happened to. Okay, now. Let me just move here for you to. Now, this is the finished product of the input screen. Now, you have an opportunity. See, look, you move around and you are double check yourself with the green check mark. Every single letter counts. The client will be very unhappy if you misspell their name, even by 1 letter, or their social by 1 number long, or the address. So everything must be, especially the name of the spelling. Sometimes some clients' name spelling not necessary in the common way. So here's the head of the household. That's what we just did. Now, and then also the question. So now going back to this kit, the finished products is in here, but where to input it? Go to data entry. You see 1, we just finished. You go to 2. So from top to the bottom, and then from left to right, normally. So anything blue, there is some input last year. And reminds you, it's very possible this tax year have a similar things. The things is black, that means saying this client last tax year had not been input there. More likely, they may not have it, but not necessary though. Sometimes they have it. Okay, in this situation, number 2, dependent. Now, in here, you can put it in here, or you can double click in here. There are more detail. Now, in here, let me see if I can. Now, I move this one so that easier for you to look at. In the middle of the left side is the kid, is the son. So the first, the last, and then the social, son, birthday, dependent leave with the taxpayer. You remember in here they say it taking care of the son, and also pay the after school program. So now in the after school program, now in here, do you remember I changed the state? So now here I have to change the state. Like here, this 2441 is the child care. So the child care providers EIN, right here. If they're EIN, like check this one. If they're not EIN, let's say somebody just take care of them, the social, you don't check that. Now, let me ask these questions. Right now, in the right-hand side, is it finished yet? This is tricky questions.
What is your questions again?
My question is, did this input screen finish yet?
No.
Why? What is not
Because
finished?
you say you have to fill up everything with a red star.
Yeah, in here, the blue one. So they kind of like guide you. Hey, there's something last year happened. You see it? Like here. Like here.
That too, yeah. The blue one and
then
the
also
red star.
And then this one is not supposed to be in here because this one belongs to the second one. So now we go back to here. It say is $300 per month for 12 months. So they say for 12 months. The childcare not necessary for 12 months. So you have to make sure it's for how many months. So now you can count it. Now average 300, but he said, well, we can do it the dumbest way. What is the dumbest way to do it? We let the computer does it. You can double click in here, double click one more time. You click. Now you cannot directly from there, but you double click one more time, and then from here you right click, calculate it. You have to double click one time first. Okay, 300 times 12, enter, insert. Pretty cool, isn't it? It's like there. They can add, they can divide, they can do whatever. Now, the taxpayer is a phone number. They're supposed to be a phone number in there. You need to be a phone number. Okay, I make up this phone number in here. Now, this state must be go to state of George because they're all consistent. Taxpayers, right? So now, the taxpayer is the taxpayers. No, they're not. Okay, they're not. So it's not. It's a normal daycare. Okay, in this situation, we finished 2441 for daycare. But we need to in the in this dependent care, just like after this, you need to input one more time. You remember how much?
3,600.
Like here. You need to input twice in 2441 as well as in here. So they're next to each other. If you don't put in here, the number doesn't show. Okay, so we finished the dependent care. If you want to kind of like double check along the way, let me show you what is the finished product. The finished product is in 2441. It's going to take a little bit more. Oh. The 2441. The child here, the child is in here. Is correct. In here. 2441. Oh, the W2 have not been input yet. That's why the credit is not coming out yet, because we haven't input how much the mom is making. Okay. So now let's go back to the input screen, data entry. You cannot change in the view screen. You can green check mark it. When you print out, it doesn't show. It's pretty good. If you do it input, you double check by green check mark, you figure out wrong and go back to change it and then green check mark it. Now, here's a W2. Obviously, the actual W2 may not be showing up exactly like this way. They show it up like box 1, box 2, box 3, like that, right? But here's a W2. So the W2 belong to whom? Well, this is the one only, but it's the first person in the tax return is called taxpayer. The second one is called spouse. Not necessarily husband go front. It's the decision of the clients. Sometimes the spouse, sometimes the taxpayer is the wife. So normally if they are your new client, they will bring the last year tax return. So you're consistent with the last year, because in the IRS, the primary social as the account in the IRS. You want to keep it consistent. So this person's employee EIN number, obviously is the makeup number, right? This number must be right. Otherwise, when you do e-filing, they cut it back. They'll put in everything right. So it's an old client, you don't need to input any of those. It's there. All you need to do is look at box 1. How much is box 1? 21500. Don't worry, don't scare to make mistake. Say it out loud. And box 2. Okay, Victoria, what's the box 2?
Huh? I can't see.
2100.
Okay, 2100, like here. The further withholding, like here. No. And then now, once you put the box 1, the system will make 3 and 5 equal. Not necessarily all the time like that. In this scenario, yes, they are, right? In this scenario, they are the same. It means this person does not put in any like 401k, a lot of those P-tax things. Now, if in the cases box 1 and box 3 and box 5 different, you have to override box 3 and box 5. In this scenario, it's the same. Box 4 is auto pops out with this number by percentage. You don't need to input. If you see the box 4 or 6 is different than the number in there, more likely box 3 and box 5 you need to be overridden to match what is the right number. So now sometimes box 7 have a tips, like especially when the people work for the restaurant. In this scenario, does not. And then sometimes box 10 have it, depending here, they can have it, they can take it out, P-tax, it's pretty cool. But in this scenario, you remember, I don't recall there is, do they? No, they don't. I'm saying there's no box 10. So it's a straightforward, because it's a GA, because we do not know the GA withholding in this scenario. And then we also need to go back to change it to GA, which, oh, you don't even need to change it here. Let me tell you how to easy to change it. Let's say you change it, you make a mistake before, and you can just go to, even though you don't have a spouse, you choose a spouse first, and you going back to taxpayer, the system will automatically pops whatever your input one in there. So you don't have to be manual change this. So as at this moment, the W2 input is finished. Let me show you how to check it. Now, this system, this tax software is very cool. It's near impossible you can make mistake if you follow the instruction. Even if you make a mistake, you can catch it before you can send it to somebody review it. So now in here at this moment, you don't see it. So now let me do a setting in the tax software. This is a brand new tax software. I need to just set up a little bit so that you will have an opportunity option, demonstrate it. This one, when the tax return, if I accept it, my client can receive a text message to say, hey, the tax return is good. Now in here, is input and form here. I change it to 0. The cool thing, here's a cool thing you're going to see. You're going to have an opportunity to see all the input in the detail. Okay. Now what this one is going to give it to you. They're going to show you the W2. You see a W2? How cool is it? You see it? Now, this is the person. This is EIN. This is the person. So you are little, when you do the tax return, you really actually does those little by little. You little by little check it. When you figure, box 3 is not right. So I go back to change it, right? And then I go back to here to green check market. So now, for example, if I did forget to change it to California, when I come here, I say, I make a mistake. So we're done with this. What else we have? So now, so far, up here, we get it. Let me change this one a little bit into here so that way you see it. Okay, I close this one. So far, we finished the client information, the kid information, the W2, the healthcare coverage. We don't have a 1099A. Okay. Now we go to due diligence. Okay. What's due diligence? It's required for the tax preparer to answer question you don't do it right, you're going to pay penalty. So read this. Victoria, could you read the highlight?
Number one, did you complete the return based on information for tax 2023 provided by the taxpayer or reasonable obtained by you?
So what is the good answer?
Yes.
The good answer is yes. You know you don't want to do this business, right? If some people don't even give the information completely to you, you say the best business is the business you don't do. When you go to all you can eat buffet, you only choose the good one to eat. Next one. Okay, so next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you read it out loud for this?
Did you satisfy the knowledge requirement? To meet the requirements, you must interview the taxpayer, ask questions, document the taxpayer's responses, and review information to determine the taxpayer is eligible to claim the credit or HOH filing status. Yes.
Yes. So that must be a yes, right? The first, so there's no number two. You see, there's number one and number three. Now, what's number three? Do you think number three, I say it this way, is correct? This is a tricky question, Victoria.
No.
Okay.
Did any information provided by the taxpayer or third party reasonable known to you in connection with preparing a tax return appear to be incorrect, incomplete, or inconsistent? So it's a no.
This is a no. This is a double negative.
This is a double negative question. So go no, and you go to number 5.
Yeah.
Did you satisfy the record retentions requirement? To meet the records retentions requirement, did you keep a copy of all documents provided by the taxpayer that you relied on to determine the eligibility for the credits or HOH filing status, or to compute the amount for the credit? Yes.
Yes is a good answer. So now number 6.
Did you ask the taxpayer whether he or she could provide documentations to substantiate eligibility for the amount of the credits claimed on the return? Yes.
Do you think the answer is right? Okay, good. So far.
Did you ask the taxpayer if any of these credits were disallowed or reduced in a previous years? Parenthesis, if there's any credit were disallowed or reduced, go to question 7A. If not, go to questions 8.
Let's
So
say
it's a no.
no,
right?
you ask.
Oh, it's a yes. Yeah.
We always ask. We always ask. Okay. So let's say you ask and they don't have disallow it, and we skip number 7. But if they do have a disallow it, and then we have to say, hey, do you have a lease certified? Right? So
Yes.
so let's say in this situation, the question very clear, no. And then skip 7A. Now, in this situation, we go to number 8. Is it my answer right?
If the taxpayer is reporting self-employment income, did you ask accurate questions to prepare a complete and correct Schedule C?
Am I right? Based on this client.
I don't know what is a Schedule C. I believe it is a self-employment income
That's a tricky
tax
question.
return form.
Victoria, this is a tricky question. I tricked you. So there's no Schedule C. This person is a very straight W-2 income. The answer should be no. Okay. The answer should be no. I was tricking you. Okay. So, okay. Number 9. Or EI. So the income for this person is only 21,500. and the head of household, more likely they're going to qualify Earned Income Credit, EIC. You remember the learning subject they talk about the earning income credit.
Mm-hmm. What is earned income credit? It means that there's some income you earn, but it's also subject to tax credit.
No. Okay, I am going to answer you by holding you a little bit, and then I'm going to show you in the tax return. How about that? Okay. So that's a good question. The Earned Income Credit, EIC, I'm going to show it to you in the tax return. Okay. So, but right now we are answer due diligence questions. Okay. So the first one, always yes. If they have a kid, this one always yes. Okay. Yes. The C, we are always explain it, right? Right. So now this one is head of household, always yes. But this one, always yes as well. And then up to 15, there's only one question for sure is no, is number 4. And the number 8 depends on the taxpayer, sometimes yes, sometimes no, right? Okay. So, and then the 9, not necessarily always have yes or no questions. Only if they have an earned income credit, you will answer the 9. When if you had a household, the number 14, you always answer. And the number 15 always answer yes. Now, the less of these questions, here's the answer. Now, this question,
No.
that this is no. So was the taxpayer supposed to file for the any part? Yeah, this one is straightforward for is the U.S. Resident in here. Okay, could the payer is no, because they say it in here. This person take care of the kids, everything. Now, the first 2 questions is a no. And then the middle 2 question is yes. They say in the information. Like here. Like here. You see it? Like that. And then they say it. More than half a year. They say in here. In entire year. It matters. It matters. The credit, if you answer those questions yes or no, you're affecting the credit. Right now I put everything in the right way, and then later I change it purposely, and then you see the huge difference. Now, I close this one. Due diligence, there's a second, is for this kid. Now, for this kid, it's already, when we get this kid in here, this year, when in the kid information, they are a little bit different than the last year. They're a little bit different than 2022 trade tax software. In the dependent information area, there's a quite big difference. You don't do this, yeah, right? If you do this, and they're not going to have any Okay, now there's a due diligence. They go to the same places. You click it. So now this is something more in this year's tax software. Not apply. It's a kid, right? They ask a lot more questions. Did you explain to them? Did you explain to the taxpayer that? This always yes, right? You always explain it. Did you explain it? You are obvious. You always explain it. You must explain it. Whether or not they qualify or not, you always explain it. They can either or, right? Now, how was the kid? The kid was quite young, isn't it? The kid was 15. So in here, when it tells you how old is the kid as of December 31st, 2023. 8 years old. Now, after I input all this, I go back to here. You don't need. Or there's the head of household. This person, did they say married or not? Is unmarried. You see it? No, the dependent is unmarried. How about is unmarried? Do you see it? On the left side when I highlight it. So it's never married, have a kids, okay? So you will not need to answer number 2 because
Wait, Philip.
Yeah.
Philip.
Yeah.
Unmarried, never married. So she just say that she is unmarried and
Yeah.
lives in Atlanta, right?
Mhm.
So how do you know she is not divorced? People divorce can be,
You can
per grammar, it could be a married person.
Yeah,
but
you can.
people divorced.
Okay,
right?
let's say if they do have divorce, you can always ask, you're not married, so do you have a divorce? You can ask those questions. You can ask those questions in the nicest way, right? You can always ask these questions in the nicest way when they told you they're not married. You follow those questions, you ask is yes or no, include number 2. So that will, let's say it's either somebody never married or divorced or separate, either or.
Okay, for your client who is divorced, do they show you the divorce decree for every year or only the year following from divorce agreement?
When you file tax return, when they tell you they're divorced, you will check as divorce. They do not need to show you, we're not audit them. Okay. When you file tax return, whatever the client tells you, we take them as it is, and that's why we document it.
Okay.
We do not need to go to check their thing. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so number 2 is up to them, right?
Yeah. Up number 2, if they are in this situation, I don't see any information say yes in here. So, and then they say the utility number 3. They say in there. And number 5, there's nothing they say in here. No. That's it for this person. For this person, that's all you have it. Now, for other people, they may have more. For state of California, head of household also need to answer more questions. Now, in here is the date of today, is the code for my company, let's say when we sign it. So now, assuming up to this moment, we input everything for the photo. What is going to happen? But this error message is always coming up. Well, first thing first, the W2 is in here. Yes, W2. So and then the 2441, which is the dependent care. 36 subscribe. So now, do you remember okay, I'm going to go back to answer the earned income credit to you later, but let me give you, this is the total tax liability, total income, and then the standard deduction by itself for head of household is this much. It's a lot. So therefore, it's only $700 to be taxable. So their total tax liability only $71. So in this situation, the child care tax can against or up to the tax liability. So right now it's 0. So there's no tax liability in line 24. They withhold it 2,100. Now, return line 27. Do you see 3,995? Almost 4,000. And this number, this is a good thing. Now, from 27, 28, those are good, all the way to 31, those are good stuff. Okay, when you have number in 27 all the way to 31, your money, okay? So in this situation, they pay Uncle Sam nothing. They prepay 2,100. They take all back. They also, Uncle Sam give almost 4,000 as a earned income credit, and also there's a 1,600 additional child tax credit. So this refund total of this much. Now, go back to answer your question right here. Earned income credit right here. It's called earned income credit. So when you work and you have kids and you're making the income below the national average, the IRS give you back the money to support your family. It's a pretty good deal. And if you want to know how the...
So she is getting back $7,000 something, right?
Yeah. Yes.
My question is, did she ever pay 7,000 something on her W-2? I forgot.
No, she only paid this. 2,000.
This is the number she paid, but she's getting way much more than what she paid.
Yeah, that's credit. You see credit. Those are all. Do you remember I telling to you line 27 all the way to 31 are good stuff? Okay. So now let me change the scenario a little bit. Now let me just change this income become 31,000. I changed nothing except 10,000 more an income. Okay. So the whole scenario only change increase the income by 10,000. So now the tax is this, the total tax is still 0. So you still get all the money what you pay, but the earned income credit is decreasing. Do you see it? Because you are making more money, you can support yourself more. Therefore, Uncle Sam give you less money.
Okay.
So now, one more scenario is the opposite. Let's say you have a kid, you work part-time, you only make 11,500. Your earned income credit will changes. A little bit. There's a maximum amount you can take. You see it? It's not much, not much different. Now, okay. Now open the floor to ask any question. Let me change it back to what is supposed to first. Was 20 is 21,500, right? 21,500. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So any question? Anybody can ask me right now. You have to unmute.
I think you have to stop sharing your screen first. So my screen can go back to the Zoom meeting page where I can see people raise their hand and unmute them.
No, they raise the question. They raise themselves first. Okay, they can unmute themselves. They can unmute themselves if they want to. Now, we don't have a lot of time to answer questions. And then I can answer one question if you have any. Anybody, you can, if you have question, you could unmute yourself. And then you could ask me question right now.
And they unmute themselves?
They could. They could.
Oh.
I made them allow them.
Oh, okay.
Rudy is raising. Rudy, yeah.
Yeah, I have a question about the medical part. I don't
Yes.
see he being filed the medical for coverage. So which form
Okay.
Ponderosa need to file?
I was input in here. I mean, I first start with in the first input screen, HC healthcare screen right here. I check a little.
Can you click it?
I check a little box right here. Right here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all they have. Now, if you have a cover California, and then they have to provide you a 1095A. But in this situation, they say they don't have a 1095A to provide. Okay. So in this situation, you're done. But if you have a cover California, you need to input the detailed 1095A, which in the future classes, we will have an opportunity to learn it. Good questions. Got it? It's right here. Right here. And then also, if you need to have it in the future, it's right here, in here to fill it. But for this example, we don't have. But for other example, we are going to put something in here.
Right.
You,
So the client can tell you, oh, I don't have the 1095A, but I have the 1095B. Then
you don't need to input anything. You don't need to input anything. All you need to do is 1095A, 1095B. You don't need to do. You don't need to. All you need to do is just check the little box. They no longer have a penalty anymore. Okay.
Oh, so even the client has no insurance coverage, they don't get any penalty?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Okay. They used to, but not anymore. They can change that, but so far 2023 is no. Okay. Okay, good questions. Any more questions?
how to determine which tax form that we'll be using? Because I've seen people using 1040, right?
Okay, now,
The tax form that you just filled up is say form 2441 or
okay, now,
something like that.
now to answer your question, watch this. Let me change the scenario. Let's say assume they are husband and wife. So, okay, so they join together. Number two. So I just make it up, okay?
Okay.
I'm just make it up. 5 6 0 0 2. Something like that. And then let's say,
So do you mean that when you just input the customer information, it would direct you to the right tax form to use
yeah, based on, but for example,
based on this first page that you're filling up?
let's say for example, if they are in the same, let's say, this is a teacher, let's say for example. So now in this situation, they are using Mary file jointly. In this situation, the wife is a taxpayer. Nice guy is the husband. You see it? So in this situation, they are 1040. Well, when they're senior, when you input their age, they will pop out as a senior. The SR. So in another word, you don't choose what tax form. All you need to do is in input screen number 1, you input whatever necessary in the software. We're gonna get you to what form they use. Pretty cool. Got it?
Mhm.
Am I answer a question? Okay. Any more questions?
No.
Okay, let me summarize what we have done. We have trained, it's called head of household, is one person have a kid, and this person have a W-2 income, and also there's a kid going to daycare. So, and this person take care of these kids more than 50% of everything. So she's qualified to take this kid as a dependent. So not only as dependent, but also earned income credit, child tax credit, all of them. So that's why the due diligence, when we answer, is very important in here. All these yes, no questions, it is very important. There's a penalty by the IRS to the taxpayer, to the tax preparer, by at least $250 per one mistake answer wrong in here. So, and then when you go through this process, the system are going to give you the right thing of what this taxpayer is qualified. For example, the earned income tax credit, for example, the child tax credit, for example, the child care credit, all related to those questions. Don't underestimate those questions. Now, this is the, see, let me do this. Excuse me. Let me show you the answer. There's an answer of the finished tax return. Here. Here's the finished tax return. Let's side by side to see what if we do it right or wrong. when I do in my practice, we green check marks everything. We are pretty good, isn't it? We get everything right. First classes and get everything right is pretty good. Okay. So I think you guys finished the first classes, and tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we're gonna teach you more. You guys learn something?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Have a good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Philip.
You're welcome. Okay.
I really appreciate you're
Yeah.
professional,
Let
you
me-
know, because you're wearing a tie and a shirt at 10 p.m. and give us a lecture. So it's
Okay.
greatly appreciated. You know that?
Okay. Thank you very much.